Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. As you can see right now, we're not having an auction tonight. So I thought I'd just jump on here and talk to you guys for a minute. For New York Minute. New York. Hey there, Diva. Me and Indy was going to have an auction tonight with a lot of jewelry, and I had some coins and stuff, and I just didn't feel like it tonight, guys. I've had a rough couple of days. Thank you there, Granny. Hey, LaPlue. I've had a rough couple of days. Hey, George. Uncle Jed from another shed. So we've not had a couple of last good days. Physically, it was the last 4 days, and mentally, it's been the last probably since yesterday, mental wise. Look at my old head here. I hate that look. I didn't have a lot of hair, but I miss my hair. Brian, it looks good on you, though. That's why I've got my Scottsville hat on today. But we Indian went through some. Well, matter of fact, there's some of the jewelry and stuff that she was going through today, and I told her, I said, honey, my mind ain't gonna be in it tonight. No, that's why I wanted to get on there and tell everybody, because I told everybody on Facebook that we might have a sale tonight, and I don't, my mind ain't in it tonight. I'm sorry, guys, but who knows about tomorrow night? Y'all get notifications, and I can let the biggest majority of you know on. I got heartburn. The biggest majority of y'all know. Hey, Robert. You don't never know, Justin. I've not been out doing no picking. Uh, we happened upon them because of those 2 units. Thank you, Kathy. We happened upon them because of those 2 units we got. Uh, them some good nice. Did you get that one cleaned up? Well, guys, I finished my other chemo up since the last time I talked to you. I got one more. 2 weeks from today will be my last chemo treatment, and then my beautiful hair can start growing back out. I get my goatee back. That's what I miss more than anything is my goatee. Goatee. I don't know. I just had it for 30 years, and that's what I miss most. I know it. I know I am. I don't think so. I don't even like looking in this camera here at me right now. Oh, yeah, I want to see pictures of it when you get it cleaned up, because that was a nice looking knife. But we're here at her house, and got me a little. I know y'all probably thinking it's 70 degrees there. Thank you, Granny. I appreciate that, honey. But I just get a little chill, and then I got my fireplace right right there. I'll kick that fireplace on, and it gives me it more than just wanting to stay warm. Well, Cynthia, uh, I'm afraid I'll lose some of my girlfriends if I don't hurry up and grow some hair on my head. India's out on the front porch. She ain't listening to me, so we got to be quiet about them, okay? We got to be quiet about all them lady friends I got. I am my daddy's child, ain't that right, Kathy? My poor old daddy, he really thought he was a ladies' man, I'll tell you. And it didn't matter to him if they was rich, poor, black, white, it didn't matter. He was a ladies' man, as that's what he thought. I figured my sister would be on here. She know what I'm talking about. I'm not like that. I cut up and go on and aggravate and stuff. But I'll tell you, India's been by my side. I mean, just really been by my side. You know, just like I was when she got her ankles broke. We're a team. We've always been a team, and that's why our business is not doing as good as it usually does. And it didn't when her ankles was broke. Hey, John over there in Virginia. But when her ankles was broke, her business didn't do good then because we're so much a team. And with me being sick, the business ain't done that good because me and her just always been a team as far as, going and getting me and her, we've been in Louisville. You guys that know about Louisville, uh, on Dixie Highway up there. And at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, loading out a unit. And me and her by herself. I looked at her one night and I said, I don't feel real safe right here. She said, well, there's a fence all the way around there, and we got our GUN on there, in there. And I said, yeah, but it wouldn't be the first time somebody ran through a fence and robbed somebody, and they got it on video camera. So I looked at her and I said, we got help back at the Scottsville. I said, let's go get a motel room, get out of this place. That was one of the nights. I think it was Dixie Highway up there. Real dangerous part of Louisville, which any part of Louisville I think is dangerous anymore. But that night I felt like something was fixing to happen, and I think we only had the U-Haul up there, and so we got in the big U-Haul. I didn't care how much it was loaded, and we headed out there and got us a room, and we sent back 2 U-Hauls. We had bought. That's back when you used to go and actually look at the unit, and they raised the door up and use live bidding on it. I think we bought about 10 or 15 units up there, overbought. And one we almost got blackballed from. Uh, well, I sent some of my guys up there. There's a bunch of old mattresses. Instead of taking them to the dump like I told them to, they loaded. I guess they was 15 or 20 just old mattresses in Box Springs. They found a unit that was empty and raised the door on it and slid everything underneath all the mattresses in there. So the next time me and Indy went to one of their live auctions, they said, well, we got to start charging the deposit. Said, I had somebody lease some stuff last time, and I can't remember that auctioneer's name. He told me, he said, your people done it, Jerry. He said, but we know it wasn't your fault. And I told one of them, I got back, I said, what'd y'all do with them mattresses in Box Springs? And they was like, we took them to the dump. I said, they got y'all on camera sliding them in another unit. I hear you. I hear you, RV. Appreciate you guys. Uh, but we was going out, like I said, we was going to have an auction tonight with a lot of jewelry. India's been going through we got a lot of sterling silver jewelry. Not a lot, but then some costume jewelry. And we was going to do that. Then I had some Ben Franklin hats, some coins, nice silver coins that we was going to do. And if I feel like it tomorrow night, uh, we'll get on there. And India actually, she could do it herself, and I could just sort of be there in the background and cutting up you guys and talking to you guys. But we just had the last few days. It's been. I tell people I ain't right in the head. And what I mean by that is the thoughts that go through your mind. It's incredible. It's like they're going through your mind and you can't stop them. It's like they're ricocheting all over your head, and it's just constant thoughts. It's the bad thoughts of what if. What if the cancer? What if this chemo don't shrink that tumor? What if it's getting bigger right now instead of getting smaller? What if it's spreading now instead of the chemo doing what it's supposed to do? What if the chemo don't even work? And I went through all this, and I was telling my sister last night. Yeah, I wake up sometime at 3 in the morning, and I'll call Kathy, and I look down at the phone. We've done been talking like 2 hours. Diva, that's the one that I said that you and her could be twins. I think I've sent you pictures before back and forth. But I told her the other night I can understand why some people give up. I can understand why they say I'm just not going to go through it no more. Used to I would think, why ain't they got no more courage in that? Why are they giving up so easy? But and a lot of people say I'm not going to go through the chemo. I'm just going to take my chances on doing what I'm doing and live my life out. And I always thought, don't do that. Do everything you can to live. Fight, fight, fight. And that's what I'm doing that. But now I can understand better now other people that decided not to. That decided not to do the chemo route. And used to I would look at them and say, well, you're just giving up. And once you go through this chemo, and I don't know if mine's worse than others. I know it's certainly not better than others. But they give me a. I know it, Kathy Scott. You got. They give me. I'm in there for all day long. They're pumping this 3 different types of chemo in me. One's immune therapy stuff, and they're giving you all this medicine, and you're in there. You go in there. You get there about 9. They draw your blood, and man, they poked me this last time because I hadn't drunk enough water. I I was dehydrated, and they couldn't. The veins kept collapsing or hiding from them, and they poked me so many times. And then when they started the chemo, after they did my pre meds, they give you these pre meds, uh, Romatin medicine, steroids, and my when they started the first chemo, they told me that they had messed up last time, and that chemo that they gave me in 1 hour last time was supposed to be over a 3 hour period. They said it's not that we're giving you more of it, but we messed up last time and gave it to you in an hour. They said we don't even know how you took it, all that in 1 hour's time because it was supposed to have been spread out over 3 hours. I was like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all could have killed me. But then when they started giving me that chemo there, that same one that was going to be, because they said it added extra 2 hours on my chemo time. My wrist started hurting real bad, and chemo's not supposed to hurt when it's going in. And I knew something wasn't right, and it started like it was moving up my arm, just the worst pain. I said, y'all got to do something there. I said, that's killing me. And what it is, that vein I guess they didn't get it all the way in the vein right, the little plastic thing after they pull the needle. And they switched it over here, and I never did have no more trouble out of it. But this second round with chemo, getting back to what I was saying, I can understand. And they don't tell you about constipation. And I'm not going to talk about what I've had to do and what I've had to endure. The chemo will either give you diarrhea or it'll give you constipation. And in my case, it's been constipation. And I would rather be on the throwing up end or the diarrhea end than the constipation end. Because the first time I had chemo, it was bad, and then the second time it was even worse. And the pain and the stuff that I had to do to myself to get relief that India had to help me with, it's just nobody. You would never think I could never do that. So don't never say you can never do something, because India knows how big a chicken I am when it comes to needles, when it comes to going to doctors, when it comes to taking medicine. I mean, I'm always asking in India, is it okay to take this? Is it okay if I do that, and that's the way I've always been. And I'm surprised myself that I've been able to endure some of the stuff that I've went through with this chemo and some of these side effects that you have, and the constipation. I'm sure y'all have heard the word impact it, and that's all I'm going to say about that subject. But it's it's probably one of the most worst, horrible things that you can ever experience. And I'm drinking the far out of water and my Gatorade, and I think that's something that they don't explain. When I talked to the first time I did chemo, I had a dietitian come in there. I don't think they explain it how serious of a problem that constipation and impactation can be, and how much of pain that you can be in if you don't drink a lot of fluids, stay hydrated, eat the right fibers, and fruits and things like that. Uh, and I want to write. I want to do a blog, or when I get cured of this cancer, and I'm going to get cured. I'm going to make it through this, guys. We're going to be back to going to storage units. We're going to be back to having auctions. We're going to be back to having fun. I've got my mind made up, and I think they called it in time. But I want to tell you something. I want to try to warn other people's about maybe they can avoid some of the things that I've had to endure. I want to help people. I mean, I want other people that's going through chemo. I want to explain things better to them, because I don't feel like they do a good enough job. And I didn't know what to ask them when they're talking about chemo and they're talking about surgery and removing my lung. You don't know what questions you ask, and if you go on the internet, goodness night. I mean, one thing saying you're going to die, and the next thing saying you got a 70 or 80% chance of making it, and the next one thing saying you might as well be getting your final arrangements made. And then you go in there and you ask about what's the right food to eat. One of them will tell you that you need to, you can enjoy sugars, and the next one telling you you can't do sugars. And then you got them on there saying the best thing to eat is like cold lunch meat sandwiches sometimes. Another one saying don't eat cold lunch meat sandwiches. So it's such a wide variety, and it gets people so confused. I'm gonna try to take my own experience and do a little booklet or something to try to help people. Because I'm taking this as a learning experience too, as a teaching experience. Uh, and maybe they can avoid some of the pain and suffering that I've went through by just asking a simple question, or being explained to better, about the importance of staying hydrated. I told them maybe tomorrow night or Thursday night. Just keep an eye on it, yeah. But India was, she said whatever I wanted to do tonight, and I said, I don't feel like it tonight. But I want to do something to help people, and not only with, and it don't only go with for cancer. I mean, all of a sudden you get sugar diabetes. You don't know the right questions to ask, and once again, you go to the internet. You get so confused. I want people. I want to try to teach people on the way to ask questions, because a lot of us we're scared, and we don't want to ask the question because heck, they're the doctors. But sometimes you can tell them certain thing that you got going on in your life, and it might change your whole uh, treatment. A health issue that they're not aware of. Uh, just different things that you don't think of. And I'd love to have a little booklet where people could take, whether it's cancer or heart conditions, where they can, have a little place to where they can say, uh, you're going to give me chemo uh, 8 hours a day, every 3 weeks. Why not every day? And things like that. He don't know I'm live right now. The chemo will cause many mood swings and mental changes. Oh, Cynthia, I'm telling you, honey, it is. And when you don't go to the emergency room and you do it yourself, what the emergency room usually does, uh, I'll just say, if you ever watch Gunsmoke and you seen them taking a bullet out of their self out of their arm or something, it's similar to that, but probably hurts a lot worse. Thank you, George. I appreciate that, and I do got a good support system. My family's all uh, supporting me. My children, my family, and you guys on here. That's why I wanted to get on here tonight, even though I wasn't having an auction, George. But it does cause, I call it chemo brain. Just had one right then. Right, I forgot what I was even gonna say. Uh, oh, getting what George said, mood swings. Yeah, it does. I can go from one minute. Me and Indy went to a restaurant the other night, a little family restaurant down there, Sam's, and all it took was the waitress walking up saying, "How you been doing? We really been praying for you." And I broke down and started crying just out of the blue. I don't know what that one probiotics, but that's what I've been working on with that. I've been using Metal Mutual Marilax. I didn't know Marilax worked so good, but I've been drinking that Marilax stuff, and it seems like it's helping Diva. But thank you guys. See, and I'm gonna take a lot of the little tidbits, just like with Diva and George and coming on here talking about it. Uh, I I don't think the dietitian explained it or the doctor, the oncologist explained the importance of that because other than that, I've got sores all in my mouth right now. In India's, we're doing salt water and baking soda, and it seems to be helping that. What I mean, what is that? What is the name of the medicine that you get, or is it something you eat, Diva? And my house is a mess, guys. But India, she's been right before I started doing my chemo. She's painted the dining room, and we've got a mess. The whole house is just a mess right now. It's not her fault. So I apologize if you her house sort of seems out of place right now, but she is working her fingers off. She because we still got to make money. So she opened the store. We made I think she sold 500 Friday and almost 800 Saturday. And she done that. Well, we had a lot of people, my family, my children and my sister Kathy and others that came and helped India get it ready. I'm reading what Don's got to say here. Don, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, it's like digging a bone, Don. It's the old latex glove, and I'm telling you, people needs to be warned about it because it's not any fun whatsoever at all. I mean, I actually got out on the riding lawnmower yesterday and done some mowing, just hoping it would. Because they tell you there's exercises you can do too. You can take your fist and place it at your at hip level at your abdomen. I can't even say the word I want to say, but you can start doing circles up to your chest and putting a little pressure there. That helps. It's a little simple tip like that I finally dug out from using that for the pun from the off the internet. Yeah, and it's not no fun experience, guys. And you got to be very, very, very careful because there's a lot of there's just dangerous. And of course, I'm the most carefulest, worry person there is. So, uh, but here's what I told him, Don. I told Indy, I said, when I go back to the doctor, hey, Larry, when I go back to the doctor, I'm going to tell him, look, I've done 2 operations on myself right after this chemo because it causes it. I said, this third time when y'all give me chemo, I ain't doing it no more. I said, y'all going to reserve me a room in the ER, and you're going to go ahead and have it pre-ready. They going to give me one of them, what I call a loopy shot that makes me just plumb loopy, and then I'm going to let that little nurse do the operation. I'm going to tell them that. I ain't doing it no more. I've been brave enough to do it twice, and I ain't doing it no more. I'm telling you, boy. And that's something that people needs to be. I mean, I would have already been drinking a lot more liquids. That's like me getting poked. It was unneeded. It wasn't the nurse's fault. Me getting poked probably 7 times, them trying to find a vein the other night. It was my fault because my veins were flat because I hadn't drank enough water because I don't like to drink water. Well, you learn to like to drink water. I'm learning to love to drink water after some of the stuff I went through and getting poked. And, the first time they stick you for those IVs, and George knows about this too firsthand. I noticed he said he knew about the other firsthand too. But first time they stick you with it, it ain't bad. And the second time ain't too bad. But when they go about a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, try Propel. I hope not, but for some reason, Gettysburg, it either causes you to be nauseous or to have the diarrhea or to be constipated. And the 2 times, and it all depends on, oh, I got you. Yeah, that water, yeah. Well, right now she's put me in a little splash of Gatorade because I don't like Gatorade. I think they put too much sodium or something in Gatorade, but it causes heartburn. But she does some spring water and a little splash of Gatorade to give it a little flavor. And even if you're not sick, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, even if you don't like to drink water, force yourself to drink water, especially if you're like me and some of you guys. We're getting on up there in age, and it's very important, no matter what's going on in your body, that you stay hydrated. Great papaya. I'm going Propel. Is that saying Propel or Propel? Oh, Propel, yeah, the grape. I'll get India to get me some of that. I'm coughing now because of that salt water. I'm gargling in salt water and baking soda. So wanted to get on here and holler at you and give you guys and I did walk another 5K 2 days before treatment. Well, actually, I did this one 3 days before treatment. I did walk another 5K, and what that does to me, and I asked my doctor if I'd be okay with it and if she'd be okay with it. And she said, well, just listen to your body and know if you get to hurting to stop, or if you don't want to, you don't get a pulled muscle and then have to go through chemo, or you don't want to fall and have to go through chemo, nursing a broken arm or something like that. So we stopped. We had to stop after we got halfway through it and a little bit on the way back. We stopped for about 3 minute break. I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to even walk it this time. Before my 2 weeks from today is my last treatment. Hopefully, last I'll ever have to see of it, but more than likely, I'm a realist, and I know that we are going to beat this, but probably 4 or 5 years down the road, it may come back up again, and I may have to go through this chemo again. So I'm going to learn all I can about it, and just like getting tidbits from George and Don and Diva, little tidbits like that helps people because it's hard to learn on your own. I mean, a balt lesson uh, is a trying to think of what my terminology is. A bought lesson is a lesson that where you actually get information from somebody, but then a learned lesson, a taught lesson, is one that you learn on your own. And sometimes them things are rough, boy. I'm telling you, they rough, man. So I wanna go through this not only and my daughter told me the other day, she said, Daddy, you need to stop worrying about other people. You need to start it's time you start concentrating on your own health. You got to get better first before you can help other people. And I said, well, if I can help other people go through a little less pain and a little less uncomfortableness when they get bad news like I got, and give them a little bit more encouragement to not give up in the fight, then I want to do that. I want everything that I do in life is geared towards helping somebody. I've never been one to do self help, and it's always it seems like God just put that in me to geared to help somebody. When I'm getting chemo, if I see other patients sitting in there, like the first time had chemo, they was saying there was people out waiting to get their chemo, and people was in worse shape than me. And I told them I was in this. They put you in this little room. It's got a TV. It's got a recliner like I'm leaned out in now. Very comfortable. Very nice setting for what it was. And I told him, I said, push my little butt, young butt. I said, take me out in the hallway. I said, give me my chemo out there. I said, let one of them older patients that's in worse shape than me, let them have this room. Let them have my recliner. I said, I can take this chemo out there in the hallway. I can take it in the bathroom. I can take it anywhere that you want to give it to me. I said, but them people's been waiting a long time. And they said, no, we were getting them a room right now, Mr. Whitney. But I've just always tried to been geared towards trying to help people. And if I can take my own experience, let me see what George said there. Yeah, George, that's exactly what, and thank you, Kraken. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes, and I'm gonna be truthful, with y'all. I get to the point sometimes to where I'm not geared towards helping nobody. I'm not geared towards helping me. My mind gets into a place in a state of being to where I get to the point to where it's like, is it worth going through all this? And then I look at a picture of my grandbaby. And then I look at my wife. And then I look at my children. Then I look at my friends. And then I look at my life and everything that God created. And you dang right it's worth going through it. Fighting to live in this God's creation, this life that He gave us, in this beautiful, beautiful world, the beautiful sunsets, the beautiful times in the morning time when when it's sort of the sun's coming up and there's a little bit of a fog going on and everything, how beautiful things are. It's worth fighting to stay in this world. One day we are, all of us, it's upon it, we all going to face judgment day one day. But there's no point of giving up, no matter what your problems are. You got to fight, guys, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, even if they'd came in and gave me the worst prognosis there was, I would still fight. But there are days to when you understand why people do give up. And if I can make those days a little less on somebody else about giving up, because I know the days I can almost tell you every day that I have a bad day, I can almost go back and retrace my steps. If I can figure out what triggered that, and I can help somebody have one less day of doubt, one less day of wanting to give up, one less day of wanting to quit, then I think that I'll feel all right about that. But now we're going to quit talking about me completely. I want to know if you guys had a great Easter. We had a well, here we go talking about me. It's all about me. I was aggravating my sister Kathy the other night. I said, every time I got to go tell you something going on with me, you tell me where you're hurting at. I said, it ain't all about you. You got of course I was aggravating her. But me and her stayed on the phone. We'll talk for like 2 hours and I don't even know what we talk about. But you guys, I hope you had a great Easter. Uh, one of my daughters and grandkids didn't get to come because her husband had been sick, and we didn't want to take on no chances on me getting an infection. So I missed them awful bad on Easter. But other than that, uh, my grandkids come, my family came, and we had such a nice Easter. My son Jerry Jr. He came and I'm usually doing the grilling, but he said, "Daddy, I'm gonna grill for you." He said, "Long as you buy the meat." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the easy part. Grilling, buying it, buying that high priced beef is the hard part." Thank you, there, guys. But we had such a wonderful Easter. Everybody, usually when you get that big of a family like I got, usually there's maybe a little drama that goes on. Uh, some of you that's from a bigger family know what I'm talking about. So no drama went on. Everybody was just calm and cool, and the devil. I'll tell you what. Here's how the devil works on holidays on people that's got cancer and people that's sick. Here's what he does to you. He comes to you very early in the morning, and he puts this thought in your head. First, he wakes you up, and you realize it's Easter morning. Friday's done gone. Easter morning's here. Jesus, the stone's been rolled away, and Jesus is walking in the cool of the morning. He done defeated death. You get reminded it's Easter and that all your family's coming. And then he sticks this thought in your mind. This is going to be your last Easter you get to spend with your family. So you better make the best of it. And then that thought gets planted in your mind. This could be my last Easter I celebrate with my family. But I turned it around on him. And I said, you know something? None of us are promised tomorrow. Not one of us that celebrated Easter Sunday is promised. Get me, listen to this. None of us are promised next Easter. None of us. Me sitting here with cancer. None of us have promised. That's why I want to try my best. And I did before. I tried to live every day like it's your last day on earth and cut up with people and have fun. And I don't like being mad at people. I don't like getting upset at people. And when I do, I try to go out of my way to apologize. But George said after 3 days of rain and gloom and doom, Easter was a beautiful day knowing he lives. So we all can live forever. That's what I put on my Facebook. I can't remember my exact post that I had up there, but we're all gonna experience our Fridays. And I don't know if y'all saw the Passion of the Christ with the Mel Gibson movie, but that depicts just a little bit of how Christ really had it, how rough he had it that day. And think about this: Christ was the Son of Man, the Son of Mary, and well, if I could read your name, I'd give you a shout out. But shout out to you. But think about this: he was also the Son of God. Now he's the Son of God, and he was the Son of Man. But yet, in the Garden of Gethsemane that night, he prayed, and he prayed hard for that cup to pass from him, that he wouldn't have to die. So some people will look at you and say, well, you know, you believe in God and heaven, so why are you afraid of death? It's something that's built into us, and it was also built into Jesus. If Jesus had fear in his heart that night, Think about this, because he prayed really hard that he wouldn't have to go through that. He prayed really, really hard, but he went through all that stuff. That was his Friday, okay? He was crucified. That was his Friday. I mean, the worst beating anybody ever took, the awfulest, knowing that people that all you wanted to do was help them. And they were sitting in there hollering and laughing at you, saying, crucify him. People that you healed, people that you were friends with, people that you loved, you were looking down upon them as they sped on you and stuff. He went through it on that Friday. And I think of this as my Friday. This cancer that's going on right now in my body. It's my Friday. But you know, just like Jesus on that Sunday morning, the stone was rolled away and he went for a stroll. He had been afraid that night when he prayed. But on resurrection morning, he experienced what all of us is going to experience. But I liken that. That's my Friday. But Sunday morning is coming for me with this cancer. Sunday morning's coming when the doctors are going to look and say you're cancer free. So I'm having to experience Friday, and it's nothing compared to what Jesus had to go through on that Friday morning. Not nothing like that. And some of you're experiencing your Friday right now, but I promise you, if you'll hold on, Sunday morning's coming when you can go for a stroll in the cool of the morning like Jesus did. And that's what keeps me going with this cancer thing. I got one more week of chemo, and then we'll go through our 3 weeks of that chemo working, and then they're going to go in and they're going to cut on me. Oh, yeah, on the wings of a dove. God sends in his pure, sweet love. I will, Don. Thank you. But they're going to go in after that. They're going to cut on me. They're going to take part of my lung out. And that's why they're shrinking it down. The more they shrink it down, the less of my lung they have to take out. And Don, you know, that's a great song. And there was another song that there was a black sister singing it. And it was, her first name was Dorothy. I can't remember her last name. But it was a victory song that she sung. And then when I did my first, I think, chemo, or one of my first visits with a doctor or something, I played that song over and over and over again. It's not the one that's I got victory over my enemy. It was the other song. Get thee behind me. Victory is mine today. Victory is mine. And the way she sung it, and then she gave a testimony after she sung that song. And she said, a lot of people don't like the old songs. Hey, Rose, there's Miss Rose.
Hi.
Y'all say a prayer for Rose. Her birth mom passed away here a few weeks ago, and she just found out yesterday because Rose, as most of you know, was adopted out when she was, fostered out when she was 7 and adopted when she was 14. And she just got hooked back up with her mom. They were talking on Facebook and everything, and just out of the blue, they called and said her mom had passed away a couple of weeks ago. So y'all keep her in your prayers. And I think your mom had a sister, right?
Yeah.
Keep her in your prayers and stuff, too. But she's doing good. She got her a car. And Roger and Lisa Martin, thank you guys. They own a little car lot out here, and got her a car, and she's driving it back and forth to work. She's doing good. Y'all seen Mama going through there,
Yeah.
going out the door. She's in there washing dishes.
Yeah.
I got to tell my brother to hurry up and get my dishwasher fixed for me. Dorothy Norwood, I think that's who it was, and I'll say I got chemo brain, but she said a lot of you guys, after she was singing that song, "Victory is mine today." Look that up and just type in Google, "Victory is mine." Victory is mine. Victory is mine today. I told Satan, get thee behind me, because victory is mine today. And then she broke down in testimony. She said, some of you guys, y'all think the old music is gone and you don't like the old music, the old hymns anymore. She said, but I want to tell you something. This new stuff, it's okay. And then she went into testifying about something. But when she said these words here, she said, when that doctor comes in, tells you only got 9 months to live, that's when you go back to some of them old hymns and some of them old songs like the Wings of a Dove Don was talking about, or the victory songs that Dorothy was singing about. You can go back and it pulls something out of that well in your heart that makes you want to fight, that makes you want to survive. And there ain't nothing wrong with all this new music, the gospel music that's going on. There ain't nothing like an old hymn of that song that Dorothy was singing. There ain't nothing like an old hymn of trials are dark on every hand and we cannot understand all the things we go through in this blessed promised land, but he'll guide us with his eyes and we'll follow till we die. We will understand it better by and by. By and by, when the morning comes, all the saints of God is calling home. We will tell the story how we overcome. We will understand it better by and by. There ain't nothing like them old songs. I guess it's because some of them writers, they felt it in their heart when they wrote them songs. And it just wells up in your heart. And I can listen to some of them new songs. I like a lot of them new songs. All my hope is in Jesus. That's some of the new songs. But I almost consider that written under the old way of writing gospel songs. But anyway, Dorothy, that's right. I don't know how George knows all these things, but God bless him, he does. But guys, I've been on here now, starting to hurt a little bit and this is part of the side effects. I've been hurting a little bit across here in my chest. And part of it's where I fell the first time on the rib, and the second time I fell off the bed, and the rib still hurt over here, and that's part of it. And I don't know if it's side effects or what it is, but we're going to get off here. We wanted to say hi to you, and we'll try to have an auction either tomorrow night or Thursday night. And if we don't get to, we'll come on there and holler at you guys. But I love each and every one of you. Y'all keep praying, keep working together, keep loving one another. No matter what nobody does to you, learn to forgive. Learn to forgive and forget and move on with your life. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got to have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for letting me get to talk to my friends again tonight. It's another week. Satan said I wouldn't make it, and I've made it here on another Tuesday night. And it's all your glory, your praise, all the honor goes to you for it. So God, I pray that every time there's thoughts that come in my mind, anxiety, panic attacks, I pray, God, that you'll just push them back down where they need to be and lift me up in spirit. Lift all these guys up in spirit too, Lord. And I pray for each and every one of them. It's in Jesus' name we pray. And everybody said amen and amen. Amen, guys. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night, okay? God bless y'all.